Hey lasers, it's Wazell. Thanks for listening. Just a heads up, this is the YouTube edited version of the show. This is not the fully envisioned version of the show because of copyright laws. A lot of the music has been removed. So if you want that version, please go to horophilia.com and look for Bananalaser Podcast. Thanks, lasers. Keep on banana-ing. Keep on banana-ing. Thanks. Help! Somebody help me! Is someone there? Hey! Shit. I'm probably dead.
You're not dead.
What? Who's that? Who's that?
There's no point yelling. I've already tried that.
Turn on the lights.
I would if I could.
What the fuck is going on? Where am I?
I don't know yet.
What's that smell?
Shh. Hang on a second. I think I found something.
Dave?
Wazell! Oh, thank fuck. What are we doing here? Why are we chained to the wall?
I don't know. The last thing I remember is laughing at you for picking Lords of Salem as your number. Holy bouncing bananas! Who is that?
Shit. I can't tell. Looks like he blew his face off.
Oh man, Face Off. Remember how ludicrous that plot was? I watched...
Hang on. I found a mini cassette player with a note that says play me.
Cassette?
Shut up and listen.
Hello, Daisy and Wazell. I want to play a game. You call yourself Bananalaser and talk horror movies on your pathetic excuse of a podcast. But now, I want you to actually challenge yourself and put out a good show for once. I want you to watch and review the Saw series. If you make it through these movies and give us a good podcast that I would actually want to listen to, I will let you live. If you don't, I will leave you here to rot. Let the games begin.
Looks like we got a show to do.
What's up, Banana Brains? Welcome to Bananalaser. My name is Matt, Wazell if you're nasty, and with me, as always, is the guy sitting on the other side of the room, chained to the goddamn wall like me. Fuck!
Yeah.
Dave Z. What the fuck is up, Dave Z?
I'll tell you what the fuck is up. We are chained in this bitch. Son of a
Jesus.
fucking... Yeah. Now the pressure is on. We're I don't know how many shows in we are. I can't even fucking think straight. But the pressure's on to do a good show. Before, I was just starting to get comfortable doing this. I don't know about you. I was feeling good. We had a couple real good shows the last few. Now, fuck, I feel like it's show one again. Now we really gotta...
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like
Thanks for listening, guys. Hopefully they're good shows.
I feel like we're fucking cursed down here in this dingy, I'd rather be in the laser lounge. I mean, fuck, that's where I'm most comfortable. But
you should have listened to that crazy bastard. We are fucking cursed. See? Back to that. Here we are. Fucking death curse in the house.
Oh God. So yeah, here we are, guys. We're stuck down here, and we got to talk about the movies in the Saw series. We're kicking it off right at the beginning with the first one. And I'm excited about doing this series, Dave, and I know you are. It's a beloved franchise. It's one. Anytime a franchise can go to theaters 7 times in 7 years, it's got to have something going for it. And I've seen the entire series multiple times at home, just tons of viewings. I really get sucked into this world. And so for me, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Me too. I'm kind of obsessed about this series. Actually, I'm kind of obsessed about the Jigsaw character.
You're jealous, I would say. Moreover,
I respect him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
the whole Jigsaw killer storyline and everything else, and I'm watching the first one today, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, fuck, what they did here is amazing, but the funny thing is this is the best of the series, but later on they touch upon other things that they didn't touch upon here, and that makes them great in their own right. Just they're different kind of movies as they progress, and it's still great. And man, I feel sorry for anyone that doesn't fucking sit down and just watch them through. Even if there are a couple, it is hit or miss. But
Yeah,
whatever. I fucking love the series.
just to talk about the series as a whole, it's definitely it has my respect in the aspect that the continuity is held so dear to the creators, the producers of these films, that it's kind of almost like a serial, like a soap opera. Here's a new episode. It's very episodic, which is difficult to do with these kind of movies. You look back at, in the 80s and 90s when we were coming up, they just threw continuity out the window a lot of times. You look at,
Yeah.
the Nightmare on Elm Streets and, the Friday the 13th and stuff like that. They just, change shit just to change shit. But these movies, they hold the continuity, the characters, everything so dear. You can tell they kind of meticulously look over all the information to make sure it fits in with the giant puzzle, the jigsaw puzzle, if you will, and shit like that. So for that, I definitely respect them. Well, let's get into this movie. It's James Wan's theatrical debut, and now this guy is a big name. He's obviously did tons of blockbuster horror movies now in 2013, and now he's going on to action films and all this stuff. But this was his breakthrough, and he did it with his writing partner Lee Winnell, and he's also in the movie as the character Adam. And so these guys are like a little duo, and they crafted this story, kind of on the basis that they had no money to make it with. So that's why you get a movie that's kind of one location, just, minimal amount of characters and stuff like that. But to me, that was a huge strong point for this film because it wasn't completely blown up. It was very small scale, and so your focus was much more honed in and stuff like that. Did you like the opening of this film, how it just kind of just threw you in and you didn't really know what to expect?
Oh, it's fucking great when
Yeah.
it starts off in the tub when you started right off in fucking chained in,
Yeah,
right in that place.
it's just like as if you kind of woke up there, in this
Right.
bathroom, and you're just kind of thrown in. You have no idea what's going on, and I thought that worked really well. I mean, we've all heard stories, and they even elaborate on it in this movie about being, waking up in a bathtub full of ice and having your organs, ripped
Right.
out and shit like that. So I think it's something that we all can kind of, familiarize ourselves with and stuff like that. So I really like the setting alone of this movie as well.
It's panic, and you can feel their
Mm-hmm.
anxiety.
All right, so this movie, it's based around the serial killer Jigsaw, right? And we don't know that right at the beginning, but at the same time, they kind of question it in this movie. It's like, is he a serial killer? What motivates him to do these things? And stuff like that. Do you think that, and they even say, well, he's not a serial killer. He doesn't
do say
murder
that.
people.
Yeah.
And that really struck a chord with me this time because I'm like, well, yeah, he might not come up and just stab somebody, but that doesn't mean he's totally innocent of murder. What do you think about that?
No, and here's what I'll say. That what they say is he finds ways for his victims to kill themselves, and you can kind of meet them halfway on that, but not in this particular movie. Because there's innocent people that are fucked with in this movie, and it's as the series goes on, he changes the rules. They try to twist it to make it sound like it's been that way since day one, but as the series itself goes on, later on the rules are stricter, where he doesn't fuck with anybody innocent. But in this movie, there's innocent people that are fucked with. This is, so. I mean, the first two people that get killed, or not killed. Well, yeah, whatever. They die, so I guess they get killed. So
you mean they get murdered?
Right?
You mean
They do get
he's a
murdered.
murderer?
In this, yeah. I mean, I want to be sympathetic with him. I for whatever reason, I'm sympathetic with the character. So
You're right.
I'm trying. not be blinded by that.
None of these guys really did anything wrong. Later in the sequels, it's like, well, this guy screws over the poor, and this guy, killed somebody by accident or something like that. But in this movie, it's like, okay, Dr. Gordon, what did he do wrong? Maybe he cheated on his wife. Sure, that's
not even.
You shouldn't do that, but is it punishable by death or dismemberment?
No, you're forgetting something.
What am I forgetting?
Something. They showed in the later. At this point, no. If we're just talking Saw, this movie as we are right now, then right, we don't know. But he does make a little bit of mention of it, saying that you tell people every day that they're going to die. And now I'm turning the tables on you, telling you that you have limited time, and it's kind of a little bit implied in that one scene when John Kramer's in the bed and he's doing the thing with the interns and he's talking about it. Goes, the patient has this and this and this, and then Zepp steps in and says something. His name is John. He's an interesting man. That whole situation, and then it's kind of like, he says something about the orderlies here get attached to the patients or something, and he kind of smirks, and it's almost like a smug. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He looks at the one girl, and she smirks back at him too. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, maybe because knowing what we find out in the sequels, what they do, because you know what I'm going to get at with what happens.
No.
Later on, right? Well, you know the series, fucking later on, when just the way his bedside manner is very poor.
Yeah, but that's any doctor. I mean, really, no doctor who's been in the game as long as Dr. Gordon has is going to have that kind of rapport, because they have to distance themselves. It's like, here's the information, that's it. I'm not going to hold your hand. That's what your family's here for. I'm here to lay it on the line. I don't think that's really something that he should, he's just pissed off because he has, this debilitating disease, and so he wants to take it out on his doctor, I think.
Yeah, he's not as redeemable in this movie, Jigsaw. He is more of a bastard in this movie. Later on, he becomes more sympathetic when they start doing the background. But this is what it is. This movie, period, is a lot different than the movies that follow.
Very much.
Fact, yes, this a lot of people consider it like a torture porn series, and there is very little gore in this movie. There's a couple things that happen, and there's some blood, and there's some things that happen, but it's nothing like what it becomes later.
No, absolutely not, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And in the same respect, yes, later on, it is gory, but it becomes a real thinking man series. You're watching it, and you're taking it in, and the plot between the movies and what they do, and sometimes it fails, but most of the time, it nails it. It ties things together, and it's fucking, you have to think when you're watching it, and that's part of the appeal, and then also part of the appeal is the Jigsaw character as it goes on. Me personally, I become sympathetic with them, but just based upon this movie and his performance in this one, yeah, he's fucking with the one guy because he takes pictures for a living, because he's a bottom feeder, if you will, and the doctor's bedside manner and the fact that he may be having an affair. And, that's a little extreme. Poor Zepp. Zepp gets fucked with for no reason whatsoever.
I think a lot of people do. Yeah, it's like, okay, so, Jigsaw, the guy, his whole MO is built around testing people and pushing people to limits so that they then can appreciate their life and stuff like that. Okay, so the only person I really see in the main plot of this story that's being tested is Dr. Gordon. But Adam is in there just the exact same. He's part of the test too, but what is he being tested for? Or nothing, really. Or like,
he's a pawn. You're right. So was Dr. Gordon's family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems like, okay, so he's putting these people, it goes back to the thing of, is he a murderer and stuff like that. He's putting these people's life in danger just for this one person's test. And so, I don't know. To me, that's a guy who's a killer. He's not a murderer because he's not coming out and just shooting somebody,
Right. But there are a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that there's 3 people that are put to the test for reasons that are, maybe he's being a judge, jury, and executioner when he shouldn't be. But the first guy was because he tells him that you slit your wrist last month, even though you're middle-aged and in good health and have no reason to whatever. he's fucking with this one guy because it was a suicide attempt. Then he kind of teases him. He says there wasn't a cry for attention, you know?
Okay, now was that... Okay, the first guy was the razor wire room, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a guy trapped in a razor wire room. He's got 2 hours or something like that to get out.
Right.
And if he doesn't make it, then he'll starve down there or whatever.
The door closes.
That was pretty interesting. I like that.
Yes.
And I loved how it was like not an intricate trap. I mean, later in the sequels, it's like they have to make him an engineer because this shit is so ridiculous. If he wasn't an engineer, then there's no way it would work. But okay, so that's the one. And then the second one was. Well,
let me rewind. That is an intricate trap. Think about how he had to get that guy in that fucking thing and then build that fucking barbed wire and that whole thing around him. You know how long something like that would take, and what would it take to get a guy into that position?
Yeah, I'm not saying the work and stuff like that, but like later traps, there's like gears and mechanisms and shit that he's got to build.
I see.
I can go out today. I can go out today and put a razor wire trap together.
But you have to build it. You have to surround it with. You have to surround this guy with this thing and not get cut up yourself. And then fucking set it up and then set walls around it so you yourself don't get trapped. The time alone would fucking be overwhelming, and to do it safely, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it looks to me like that'd be a fucking tough thing to set up.
Huh.
I thought that the first time I saw it. I remember being in the theater opening night. Actually, it wasn't. I saw it at a midnight screening, October 30th. It was fucking amazing. But there I was, and I remember looking, oh wow, what a way to kick off the movie too. With the first like real thing, like holy shit, this movie, what the fuck, you know? It was a little bit reminiscent of Seven in a way, you know. But anyway, I digress. It looked like a tough trap to me. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't tough. Yeah, I would definitely didn't want to be in that situation.
Oh, not being it, right? I know. Yeah, that's another story.
But then you were talking about the other guy. Now, what was his deal? What was he being tested for? The guy with the candle and the flammable liquid and stuff like that? That was an interesting trap, too.
Yes, it was really cool because he had to have... I remember thinking at one point when I watched it, well, why not blow the candle out? And I'm like, no, he has to have the candle to see the combinations on the brick walls. Yeah, so...
How do you think of something like this? Like,
right?
Even as a writer for the movie, Lee Winnell, I think he wrote. Like, how do you think? Like, what's the most fucked up, elaborate way to kill somebody? I mean, it's a test. There is a possibility you could get out, but that's just crazy to think of that.
That's what's great about this series, man. We're gonna talk about tons of fucking tests. They're great. I mean, that's what it's all about. But His thing was what the fuck was his deal? Oh, I know. He was faking being sick.
Oh,
he had a fake sickness, and it was fucking people up. He was probably taking advantage of people and insurance companies, whatever the fuck. He was faking a sickness. He was supposed to be getting paid by whoever, but he was out and about, walking around doing things, and Jigsaw said, "Wow, that's no way to live." So
when you say it like that, it sounds like Jigsaw wants to be a vigilante superhero in the night. He's like, I'm righting wrongs, I'm wearing a cape and shit like that with a giant J on it, and he does. He does kind of wear a cape in this fucking movie. When the cops break into his lair, quote unquote, later, and he comes out, I know why they have it. It's because they're doing this whole ploy of, they're showing you Zepp. And you think he's the villain and stuff like that, so you can't see this other guy's face. But at the same time, it's like, who walks around in that? Fucking Skeletor. That's who walks around in that thing. Jesus Christ. Welcome to my lair.
Hey, man. Yeah, that was cool, though. I must say, I dug that look of him having the thing. I dig the style of everything this fucking dude does. The fucking the pig mask thing that he has, and
I love that too.
Hooded, yeah, everything. The hooded fucking jacket that he wears. It's inside out, Did you know he wears an inside out jacket in this movie?
No.
Yeah, I came upon that information. Yeah. He wears the jacket inside out. I don't know if it's intentional, what the reason was, or But
Yeah, the outside feels nicer than the inside. That's the thing with this movie is that they did things for a movie that would look cool or be cool, but and I'm not saying they're not cool, but in the practical sense doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's like the pig mask thing. For a horror movie, that looks cool as shit. Billy the Puppet, that looks cool as fuck. But it's like, why did he do that? Why did he take the time to make this puppet? Just to freak the person out, or something like that.
Yeah,
that he's going to put in
fun.
a test.
His own sick amusement.
He is a sick individual, man.
Yeah, he says he's sick too. Yes, I am sick. He gives him that whole fucking speech later, which is great, So he is a sick fucker. Yeah, and see, the thing is, it almost seems like they knew that things were gonna, but they didn't. That's what's so weird about it. Later on, the way it's elaborated, the character and what he's into and everything else, you would have almost thought that when they wrote this movie, that they intended to fucking get more into the character. But, in fact, they didn't. They just wrote the fucking thing, and they were starving out. Not starving, but, they were coming up trying to freaking make it big. Mm-hmm. And they did,
Yeah, big time. Pay dirt.
Yeah, oh shit. And Amanda, don't forget about Amanda. She's, she was a junkie, and he was trying to fucking straighten her out. That was simple,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she did get out. All you got to do is fuck. But there was an innocent victim. The fucking person in the room with her. She fucking had to gut the poor bastard, cut out his fucking stomach, kill him while he was under opiates, so he still had to witness it and see it.
Yeah,
that's just to get that key out of his stomach, right?
that was an amazing scene, and I mean, there's lots to talk about it. One that I noticed this time is the frantic style that was filmed. It's really kinetic and and there's lots of fast-paced music and stuff like that. That scene alone, they took that in the sequels and they just ran with it, because this movie is more slower paced, and whereas the sequels, they have they're so fast, and all those scenes of someone in a trap is filmed so kinetically, and it's like it's almost sped up and stuff like that. This is what was the first time where they did it. I thought it was pretty cool. We're talking so much about Jigsaw and stuff like that, but he's really not even in this movie. I mean, he is, but he isn't. He never really comes up until the end.
You're right. He's not conscious in any of it until the finale. You're right.
Yeah,
you hear his voice throughout the whole thing. He's there in spirit, that's for sure, and his voice is there, on the sets, but he's not walking around except for the one flashback scene where what we were just talking about when they stumbled upon his warehouse.
I wonder if we just saw this movie and there was no sequels, and if we would be talking as much about that character, because there's so much backstory that gets filled out during all the sequels and stuff like that. Probably not. I don't know.
No, but it would still be highly... It's funny you should bring that up, because it would still be highly regarded, and we would still be sitting here talking about Saw from 2004. What a fucking fantastic movie. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have even mattered, because this is pretty crazy that I said it because of what, ended up happening with it even becoming a series. But I saw this movie. It was a midnight showing the night before Halloween. So actually, you could say Halloween, right at midnight, the 30th going into the 31st. I went to the Palms in Las Vegas to see it. It wasn't playing at very many places when they had this thing, and it was this fucking sneak peek, first people to see, one of them things that they do, midnight showing. So went there and saw the movie, and of course was blown away with it, and just fucking the way it ends and everything. And I was just like fucking in shock, and as soon as the movie ends, I'm sitting there, and I'm with my ex-wife, and at the time we're still married, and she is as big of a horror fan as I am, I should say. So she's really into it too. So most of our relationship was based upon fucking horror movies. Mm-hmm. So we talked them a lot, So anyway, the first thing I said to her, and she knew why I said it, and she knew what I meant. And fucking, it's funny to see it now that I said it. But as soon as the movie ended, we get up and I said, I got one thing to say. I said, there should never, ever be a sequel to this movie. Because I was so blown away by it. I said, let this fucking movie stand as it is, because my mind was just blown, and anything else is, you know why I would say that, because you don't want to see something ruined with sequels.
Yeah.
And at the time, that's what I said, because I was blown away by it. I said, what a fucking great movie. There should never be a sequel. I hope there's not. And sure enough, here we are, And I ended up being glad there was.
Yeah, because to me, this. I mean, just speaking as the series as a whole, this movie isn't the high watermark. I believe it peaks later in the series.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, we're doing our ratings for this. No shit. No, I'm really curious. The ratings are going to be. I don't think we're going to quite be on the same page as we were with Friday the 13th and Halloween.
Yeah, probably not.
Hello, Bananalaser. This is Hugh from the Christy Hates Horror podcast. And I told him to talk about Saw, man. I remember whenever I first seen Saw, it kind of blew me away. I didn't expect the ending. It caught me totally off guard, and I loved it. I still love it. Part 2 was all right, but Part 3 I really loved. Just 1 and 3 I just thought were really great. And the character of the puppet, the pig mask and the robe and everything, just all these great little twists and turns in the whole movie. Just loved it. And that's the only ones I've seen so far. I'm not caught the last of them. I've seen 1, 2, 3. Like I said, I love the ones I've seen so far, especially 1 and 3. 3 was so great. Just the story progression, everything that happened. Just really good writing. Just really dug them. So can't wait to hear the retro on it, and maybe it'll motivate me to finally catch the rest of the movies too. So y'all have a good one, and I'll be hearing it soon. Thanks.
Jigsaw, okay, another part of his MO is that he, it's with one of the first victims we see, he takes a jigsaw piece of skin, from somewhere on their body. What the fuck is up with that? To me, it's like, he needs to stick with one thing, like, okay, is he making a Buffalo Bill dress, with all these pieces? Is he, once somebody fails a test, then he's like, well, now I take a piece of your skin? Like, I don't get that. It's like they were just, again, this goes back to the aesthetic thing. It's like they were trying to just, do something cool without actually thinking of why somebody would do it. You know what I mean?
You're right, and I see what you're saying about the jigsaw piece and the fucking puppet and the pig head. It's almost like somebody in Hollywood in the studio says, "Okay, you got to throw something in here because it's fucking cliche to have this, and this resembles this, and of course you got to have a pig because half of all horror movies have
because
pigs."
Motel Hell is a huge success, and we need to emulate that kind of success. Have you seen Motel Hell? They did crazy numbers.
Well, pigs are all over the place, man, especially horror. That's just
Pink
a fact.
Floyd concerts, they're everywhere.
They are everywhere. You probably see one every day.
I do, because I work in a kitchen. But
there you go. But they are. Think about horror movies in general, and I think they're all over the place. But I mean, as far as movies, there's so many horror movies with fucking pigs in them. You probably see just as many pigs in horror movies as you do dogs and cats.
Mm-hmm.
In one form or another. They're all over the place.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of weird that they weren't doing it because they weren't used to. You're right. It's like they just threw them in. I completely get what you're saying. Later on, as the series evolves, you see more of it.
Do they ever? They explain like the pig thing, and they kind of explain the puppet thing a little bit later, and I appreciate that. But do they ever? Do they ever really get into the jigsaw skin stuff?
Yeah, he himself says something about it in one of the later sequels.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he
puts an explanation on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but you know what? I think that just makes it marketable to have to have something, because you're not going to see Jason, Freddy, Michael, and fucking John Jigsaw Kramer standing there. They wanted to fucking have something in case it became something. I don't know. I mean, see, but they didn't because they weren't thinking of that when they wrote this.
Nope.
That's what's perplexing about this whole thing. That they ended up being like faces of the franchise to see Billy the fucking character, to have that character. You know what I mean? And then you see the pig stuff here and there, and it's associated with it. But I don't know. I wonder if that was all written in on the script. But it had to be.
Well, here's something that blew my mind. Is that, you're saying, and I kind of, I agree, it's like, well, they weren't really thinking about sequels and what to do later with the story. They were just trying to make a movie, and that's cool. But this time I was watching it, and maybe you know about this, maybe this is general knowledge, I have no idea, but I've never seen this before. And this time, during Amanda's test, there's like a message written on the wall. Have you seen this? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, this time I saw it and I paused it. And I was like, what does that say? And it took me maybe 10 minutes to try and make it out. But I wrote it down, and let me read it. It says, if you try to keep your life for yourself, you will lose it. But if you give your life to me, you will find true life. And I thought, okay, maybe that's just a piece saying about someone living after the test. But to me, that's saying, give your life to me, come be my apprentice or something like that. Given the knowledge that she's going to be one of his apprentices afterwards, I thought that was a really interesting thing on the wall.
That's really good. You can actually see that visibly on the wall.
I just paused it. Yeah, it's on the wall, and I just
it's so dark in that room.
Paused the DVD, and and maybe that's not exactly what it says, but
but still, fair. No, I get the gist of it. And that's all we need. But it's crazy. But you know what? Think about when they bring her in and what she says. Mm-hmm. I think her fucking exact lines are something like he helped. No, what the fuck? Oh yeah. Because he tells her, most people are so ungrateful. At the end, after she survives, Billy comes rolling out on the tricycle, which is fucking great. I love that thing because it's like a congratulations, It's like he comes out.
He needs like fireworks. Hey, you lived. He needs not to be so creepy. Yeah, he should be like excited. Hey, all right, you survived the test. Here is your prize.
Do a fucking tap dance.
Yeah.
Jump off the bike. Yeah, but it's cool. It's kind of like a little reward. He comes out and says, most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you, not anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think that's cool. That sums that sums everything up of what later on in the series it's all about. That's what he's trying to do for people. Mm-hmm. And then they ask her, they say, what do you think about that? Or something to that nature. The cops ask her, detectives. And she says, all she says is, he helped me. So it's almost like they're setting it up. Mm-hmm. Between her saying that and that line and that situation and what you said about the writing behind her.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't in the original. It had to be, though. See, yeah. I keep wanting to say that fucking some producers are saying, do this, because just in case. But no, I don't think that's the case at all.
Of everything I've seen, they pretty much just let them make the movie they wanted. And they weren't thinking really about future installments or anything.
Right, but let me say something about Billy. Mm-hmm. But I have to mention this. Do you know what that's even for and why he did that? Or should I say they?
The puppet? No.
Yeah. It's a tribute to fucking Deep Red. Because they're fucking Argento fans.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. And the black gloves. You know how you see the people Zepp wearing the black gloves, and later on you see Jigsaw wearing the black gloves? Mm-hmm. That is also a nod to Argento and his early Jollos, and how we had a lot of that.
And the shot of Zepp in the closet, and it zooms in on that eyeball. Mm-hmm. I thought that looks like an Italian film. It also reminded me. It looked like a blatant rip off of Black Christmas. They did that exact same thing. But I thought it's still cool as shit.
Oh, it's still cool as shit. Except that's the first time I noticed a plot hole in the movie. And you can't even say a plot hole. I could just say that I know. And I think people that don't have children know that if you have a child and you're going to go into the bedroom to check, the first fucking place that child is going to have you check is the closet. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, it's because they didn't fucking believe their daughter. It's like...
Yeah, but you show your daughter.
Oh, yes.
Going in there to show her the room. Baby, everything's fine. Come here, check this out. Oh, let's look in the closet. Let's look over there. Let's look under the bed, honey. Yeah, that's what parents do. And not even because I have a daughter. I think I would know that I think that's just almost like common knowledge. That's what parents do for their children sometimes. So how would you not check the fucking closet? And there are 2 closets. You can say that, fine. But come on. And she said she heard voices talking. Remember, she said there's somebody talking to me. Don't you think she would say, yeah, it's coming from that fucking closet? When
right.
You got...
No, he's right there. Look, open the door. Right. There he is. Show's over. See ya.
Yes. So that was the first time I saw during the movie. I said, you know what? That doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense.
You talked about that's a plot hole. Let's talk about some other ones with Zepp and how. Okay, so he's got the family kidnapped, and he's watching Dr. Gordon and Adam on the monitors and stuff like that, and he's doing his Dr. Claw impression from Inspector Gadget, where it's just him watching the monitors going, I'll get you, he's not saying that, but you know what I mean.
Right.
And so, and that, and the fact that he tortures the family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With the gun and the stethoscope to listen to their heart rate escalate. It's like, what the... I understand what they're doing. You think he's the villain the whole time, but when you go back and watch it again, it's like, this clearly doesn't fucking make sense. Why would he be doing that unless he's a psycho himself?
This is true, but I'll go a step further. He's poisoned. He's poisoned with the cyanide, whatever the fuck. You hear the tape at the end of the movie. Why the fuck wouldn't Zepp just go?
Yeah, what kind of name is Zepp, anyways?
Yeah, Zepp. We got Zepp. We got Tap in this fucking movie.
Led Zeppelin.
Situation. Yeah, right. Led Zepp. Fucking. Why would Zepp, fucking, not fucking do a fucking whole lot of love and go over to the fucking hospital? Wouldn't you? If you were in that situation, here, Matt, you've been poisoned. Fucking go do this and go do that and go do that, and I'm the only guy that has the antidote. Wouldn't you say, hey, why the fuck should I believe you?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the fucking
I'm out of here.
First hospital I see.
I'm going to go to my doctor, Dr. Gordon, and say, test me, motherfucker.
Dr. Gordon. Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
That's a shame. See, now that I fucking... Because I love this movie, and I got to tell you, I don't care about those fucking those plot holes. Because I'm impressed by everything else in this movie so much that it doesn't matter. There's the good is so good. I guess that's all I can say. The good stuff is just so fucking good. And
okay, now do you think overall, front to back, the movie is good, or are you reflecting on just the hoorah, jizz in your pants kind of moment that is the Usual Suspects kind of ending where they flip it on you? Is the whole movie good, or is it just because the ending is so strong and surprising that it makes the rest of it good?
Well, I have to admit, of course, that ending is very impactful, and it does weigh in heavy with me. Yeah, it's true, but I still think that the rest of the movie is damn good. Now, I was thinking of it the last time I watched it, if this movie just would have ended, and fucking Zepp would have in fact been the killer, and he's there and he's got the gun, this is the rules of the game, and he just was some fucking ridiculous psychopath, and there was no payoff.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck kind of movie is this? What's up with that? Right, yeah, but, you saw hints along the way of things going on, so you knew there was more to it. Mm-hmm. But that would have been very unsatisfying. And, yeah, you probably wouldn't even give it a second look because of that, even though there are still a lot of good things in the movie. I still think that the movie is strong. I like the traps. I like the idea behind it. It's filmed well. They did things. The shit Juan was doing. Don't forget who directed this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he was doing with the camera work? With the he was having shaky cam on, what's his name, Adam, and having steady cam on Dr. Gordon when they were fucking, having really? Conversation and stuff, just to reflect the friggin', their personas and in that situation, just to make it seem like, yeah, it was just something that he did, and it's clever. I think it's cinematography.
I felt like those guys in the bathroom is the strongest part of the movie. Later they they got a subplot with the cops, and they're trying to find, Jigsaw and all that. But the strongest part of the movie is the guys in the bathroom. But at the same time, their whole interaction, I felt, was kind of like, for instance, okay, the game is, Dr. Gordon, I have your family. You can get out of this if you kill Adam in 8 hours or something like that. Okay.
Right.
So Adam is never like freaking out that this guy, his main goal is to kill Adam. I mean, he's never like concerned that, he's never like scared of him, and not that there's an easy way to kill him, but there also is a gun right there. He knows he has a bullet, and stuff like that. I would be frightened to death. I don't think I would be giving that guy any information. And yeah, he withholds information and stuff, but I wouldn't be talking to that guy whatsoever. I would be scared shitless.
Of course you would talk to him. You want to try to reason with him, and that's precisely what he does. He feels that he never actually feels threatened by him after he starts talking to him. He's like, okay, well, this guy's worried about his family and everything else, and he has this going on and what have you, but it seems like he wants to work with me. He seems level-headed, at least about this, about that, I'm not going to kill you, that we're going to fucking survive this thing, and we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
I just think that it's just, once again, something else good about it's just a good script, because I didn't even notice that, and I never have. It's never even occurred to me. I guess just the way their dialogue starts and the way things go, it doesn't even matter to me. I just think it's well written too, and the stuff with the two the detectives, fucking Singh and Tap. Yeah, Tap. And what's fucked up names?
Danny Glover and the Asian guy. Yeah.
Right, Danny Glover.
The Asian guy from Lost. Yeah.
Right, there you go. Exactly. Them. Okay, so those guys, that's interesting too. That it's like a mystery crime drama type of thing. But it keeps me in, not a fucking, not a show of the week, hour-long serial show about some fucking, Murphy Brown or fucking one of them jabronis, those fucking crime drama shows, I don't watch it.
NCSIB Jigsaw. Florida.
Right. Right, nothing like that. I thought that it's well written, and it's, it kept me in. I never came out of it. From the first frame to the fucking final frame, I'm not bored.
Yeah, and I wasn't either. This movie had every element I think I wanted to see in a movie. It had the mystery, and it had horror elements with the traps and stuff like that, and it just there's never a dull moment at all. It's watching it now, having seen it 5 or 6 times, where it's like, okay, that element is clearly lessened, and so now I'm just fucking, I'm looking at, I'm picking at all the scabs. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, and this really isn't a knock on the movie, but it's just something I noticed this time. Both Gordon and Adam, in real life, they both have accents. And Adam especially, I don't know if, he does a good job in Insidious and shit, but here I thought he was terrible, and his accent is constantly like trying to come out and stuff like that. I thought he was pretty bad in this movie, and I love Princess Bride, but I think Dr. Gordon, he was okay, but Adam I thought was atrocious. I mean,
Adam, I'll tell you what, I don't think he did. It was a strong performance by any means, but I didn't notice the accent thing.
Oh, I did this time. It was like,
oh shit.
Yeah, not so much. What is his name? Cary Elwes. Not so much him, but with the guy with Lee Winnell, I felt like, because his voice would seem to go up and down and kind of in and out and stuff like that sometimes. Just something that bothered me. Watching it the 6th time.
Of course, that'll happen, I guess, sure. Mm-hmm. And I think his sarcasm, some of his sarcastic lines were a little bit, a little cheesy. I hate to say that because they're great writers, but I'll say that, you know what I'm talking about, just his attitude and some of the things he says.
Like
my name is very fucking confused. It's too. I don't think Juan does comedy well whatsoever when it comes to writing. I don't like what he does in the fucking Insidious series with those guys. I think he goes a tad bit overboard with them. as well. I just don't think, not to knock them. Nobody's fucking perfect. You know, everyone.
Well, speak for yourself, sir.
Everybody that I fucking think is great. There's one thing you could say about him. Stephen King has bad fucking third acts. Dario Argento, yeah, he has fucking weaknesses too. But anyway, everybody has, weaknesses. And Juan is great at what he does, but I just think that his when he writes comedy, if it's him, maybe it's fucking the guy writing his own comedy, Wano. Right. Maybe it's him doing it. Who knows?
How about when he fucking goes digging? Okay, there's a heart on the toilet. His first instinct is to go in the bowl? Are you kidding me? Go in the tank. Right. What the? He even says it, which is hilarious. Wow, I really wish I would have looked there first. That
was a funny line.
Yeah.
And you know what else was a funny line? No solids, he says.
Yeah, nothing solid. That is disgusting.
It's funny though. That bit of comedy I didn't mind.
And later he's putting those hands up to his face when he smokes a cigarette. I
didn't even think about that. Oh, that's something my wife would say. That's funny.
Disgusting.
Do you have OCD?
No, not like that. But when I got shit on my hands,
I hear you.
Which is once a week, I'd say. I want to get that off.
You damn dirty ape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I hear you. Of course, it's a disgusting thought, yes. But it just didn't even occur to me. By the time that happened in the movie later with the cigarette, it didn't even occur to me that his hand was down the toilet. But wow, you're right.
Yeah,
that is fucking pretty sick right there. Oh, and he couldn't wash it or anything.
No, nothing. I mean, maybe here's something else with this bathroom. And he wakes up in this tub, right? And okay, so if you're underwater, even if you're unconscious, you're only going to be there for a minute or something like that. And so he's underwater. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what happens before the movie starts, because he's underwater. He wakes up, and before he figures out that Dr. Gordon's in the room and they turn the lights on, he's like, Dr. Gordon tells him to quit his yelling. Stop yelling. I've already tried that. And it's like, what? Right. You've already tried yelling so much that in 30 seconds that you gave up? I thought that was really pretty, because I mean, how long was he underwater? What? You know what I mean? He wasn't under there for an hour or something.
Yeah, but he could have been unconscious. He could have been dragged in there by fucking Zepper or whatever, somebody.
Okay, so what you're saying is that
the water woke him up. He was unconscious. They threw him in the water. The water aroused.
but
I didn't mean aroused him. I said. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But Dr. Gordon's like, no, I've already tried yelling. Stop yelling. So does that mean he's been in there for a long time?
Yeah.
And then he saw some. Okay.
I could give that one a pass. That's one I can get by. That one doesn't really. I could see that. I mean, you could say that if you really wanted to pick it apart, it could be a problem. But that's one I can give a pass. I don't mind that, because even if Jigsaw took him in, I don't. That's just it. Jigsaw could not have been the one that brought him in. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been perfectly placed where he was in the whole nine for that short of a time. He couldn't have come in. Obviously, Jigsaw couldn't bring them both in there anyway.
Well, that's another thing too.
Had to have help.
It's like, okay, so Zepp kidnaps his family, Dr. Gordon's family, when he leaves, and he's gonna go see that the Asian, girl, whatever, that works with him, and then that's when Zepp kidnaps his family, and then later that night when he's leaving there, that's when Dr. Gordon gets kidnapped. Now, so that's got to be Jigsaw in the mask, in the suit, and stuff like that, crawling around on all fours, right? Whenever he gets kidnapped by Gordon, when he kidnaps, he's the one that kidnaps Gordon, is what I'm questioning, right? It's not Zepp.
It would have to be him, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just, with the knowledge of the later sequels and seeing Jigsaw on his deathbed and stuff like that, it's like, man, this guy really got around,
right,
in this movie kind of thing.
Well, with the knowledge of the later sequels, you could say that it was fucking Amanda R. Hoffman.
Oh, yeah.
Then he
Yeah, I didn't
actually,
think
as a
about that.
matter of fact, in 3, we're going to see when we get to 3, they flash back and they show how Amanda hooked everything up in
you're
part
right.
1. They showed
Yeah.
her dragging the bodies in there. But once again, they didn't know that when they made Saw 1.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why Saw 1 does have these small plot holes. But they explain everything away, and that's, once again, that's part of its charm. But the fucking later sequels is that they find a whole lot of things and it explain a lot, and it's like, wow, yeah, that could happen. Why not? And we'll get to the plot holes later. I only think that this movie has them, the ones that we've discussed, and in part 4 because of the time-space continuum. But we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah. 1955. So
basically, to me, Saw 4 is like in Shittiest 2. I had the same problems with that as I'm going to when we get to Saw 4.
What?
So okay. There's no way that could happen at the same time. But we'll get there when we get there. That's too bad, because aside from that, 4 would have been really good. But anyway, we're on Saw 1.
Yeah, we'll get. Okay, so here's another question.
I'm all positive, man.
Okay, Danny Glover, the Glover. He's okay. So he becomes obsessed once they find. He makes the connection that Gordon is the killer because of a pen left at one of the crime scenes with his fingerprints on it.
Oh yeah, he's convinced. That's right, and obsessed.
And yeah, he becomes obsessed that Dr. Gordon is Jigsaw. They go to his hideout. They end up confronting him. His partner Singh gets, blown to death by like 5 shotguns, which is a pretty. That's probably the best. To me, that's the best. The best
that's the
gore.
Banana.
And yeah, because
that's your banana. Yeah,
that's the best gore in the movie. All the other stuff, it's not really a gory movie. I don't think.
You know what's gory? The part with Amanda and the guts.
Yeah.
She's gutting out that guy to get the key. Mm-hmm. That's nice gore, but neither of them are my banana split.
Mm-hmm. Well, what would you pick?
I would pick, just for the impact, the fucking, even though you don't, the funny part is we don't even see the penetration, but it's the fucking, it's at the very end when Adam kills Zeb with the top of the toilet seat. And he's just fucking going to town and hammering, boom, 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 the fucking thing breaks, it's bloody as fuck. It's the best kill, therefore it's the banana split. It's not the goriest, but I think it's it's the best one.
Yeah, you're right. That is I'd have to change mine. That's definitely the best kill. But I just like the gore when Danny Glover's understudy gets fucking blown up. But anyways,
Sing. Is it Sing? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Sing.
It is good. It's a good trap too. A bunch of guns, and it's right after he shoots Jigsaw too. When they get to him, that's good shit. And he's running, and boom, fucking a bunch of shotguns up there. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Plot hole, possibly. They show him closing that door at the end of that scene. Am I to believe, and I think it is exposed in the sequels, but right now my mind's not fucking working the way it should, but as usual. Are they in the same place? The bathroom that they're fucking locked in, is that the same place that they were earlier? Where he's discovered the first time and where Singh gets killed? Is it the same big warehouse? Or am I wrong?
It can't be, because
that's what I'm saying.
One of the cops gets away, so if that were the case,
then it'd be a plot hole.
Yeah, they would know where he is and then just go there. So it can't be the same place. He would have had to find another, run down. And this fucking city,
right.
this city is just filled with these kind of abandoned warehouse places, because every building they go into, everybody's apartment and everything is just like the grimiest, most rundown place. When Dr. Gordon goes to meet the chick for his sexy bang bang love time, it's like the dirtiest fucking motel or whatever. There's no way. Yeah, he's got to get a tetanus shot once he.
It's a cheap situation, man. A tetanus shot. Well, it just makes the situation that much more dirty. He's gonna fucking cheat on his wife with this fucking intern and fucking let's take her to some fucking seedy motel that's fucking the stick it in for fucking $20 a night.
Danny Glover's apartment after Singh gets killed and he becomes super obsessed is like the fuck. I mean, it's so nasty, man. This guy is obsessed.
Yeah, that's why he fucking flips though. That's what happens. Yeah, he's like fucking Son of Sam in there or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, taping shit on his wall, doing this, yelling, fucking spying. It's out of control. That's cool. I kind of like what they did with that character. That was interesting about the movie to me. I like that what they did with the guy Lawson. He was obsessed with it to begin with, and then he was so into it he had to fucking nail this jigsaw killer. And then he does, and it's like, okay, great, we fucking finally got him. And then his partner gets whacked, and then he really takes it to heart, and dude falls off the deep end.
Okay, let me ask you this though. He thinks Gordon is the guy so much that he's watching his house, right? And even when he sees Zepp look out the window on his footage that he's watching of his house, he doesn't do anything about it. And he's not like, holy shit, who's that guy in there?
He mentions it, but he talks to himself about it.
Yeah, he definitely sees it, but he doesn't do anything. It's like, well, that's not Gordon. I'm looking for Gordon. He's clearly the jigsaw.
But what could he do? He can't go in there, fucking based upon what? He just sees the guy at the window. He doesn't want to go in there and get himself in more trouble. So he probably thinks this guy's in cahoots with Gordon. Something's going on. He's at home to care of this while he's out there. Maybe.
Because at this point, he's had his throat slit by Jigsaw's Wolverine fucking knife or whatever.
Oh, that part's great too, don't you think? Mm-hmm. When they get him in that fucking room, that whole scene. I think that the last 15 minutes of the film and that interaction when they first get him are fucking money. That's a great scene in that movie. Mm-hmm. When he has that guy up on the slab. And he fucking
the drill trap or whatever.
The drill trap is sweet. And how about they get in there and they find they come upon all that shit. They see the little model that he makes for the future with the two guys and the fucking dolls.
The diorama.
He's got two Ken dolls in there, fucking chained up.
Okay, Ken, I'm gonna chain you up on this side of the room, and you, little Adam, I'm gonna chain you up over here. Okay, now would you like some more tea, Adam? Yeah, he's playing tea time with these assholes.
He's fucking like Cartman.
Holly Prissy Pants.
There you go. Clyde Frog, Oh, that's great. But yeah, that scene, when they find that shit, and they see, what the fuck else do they see? The diagram, they see the puppet sitting there. Mm-hmm, yeah, and the pig's mask is there too.
Yeah, all of his.
It's all there.
Yeah, he's got all of his shit laid out. Yeah,
but it's really cool because that happens, and then I find this hysterical. They find the fucking guy, and they uncover him, and he's got tape on his mouth. He's like, he's trying to tell him all this shit. Well, first of all, why not just remove the tape so you can get some idea what this fucking poor bastard's trying to say? But I find it real fucking funny that he's flipping out trying to tell him shit, and then the fucking detectives get nervous because they hear someone coming up the stairs, so they just cover the guy back up.
Yeah. Like, let's just see what he's gonna do. I think that's what Danny Glover. Let's just see what he's gonna do. He's going to kill everyone. That's what he's going to do. Do something. You're the police. I want my police to fucking do something. Save me, police. What the fuck?
They cover him back up. It's like, what is that poor bastard thinking,
Yeah. Jesus.
It's like that scene in The Collector. You've seen The Collector, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. When the one guy finds the fucking one person in the closet inside that fucking case, and he wants to come out. He just pushes him back and fucking locks him. That's fucking just my kind of comedy, man. I fucking love that shit. But then he comes out, and then I think that's awesome, though. He steps on that thing all of a sudden. He knows that he's cornered Jigsaw, and he puts them right there in that moment on the test. You guys have 20 seconds. He steps on the fucking thing. The drills start going. He was just supposed to be a test subject for some reason, but then he becomes part of a game. It's this guy's life. It's great.
I think that's the only reason why he was there. I think he was there so that if he ever got, found. Yeah, you don't think that? That's what I thought. I thought
like he feeds him and he supposed to go to the bathroom.
He even says to the guy, "Hey, I'm sorry your drugs wore off. I'll try to give you some more next time, but your life serves a bigger purpose, blah, 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 blah." And I think that's why. I think he's just there to do exactly what he did. If somebody comes in, he's going to start this thing and be like, "Hey, you're going to let me go or this asshole's going to die," So
So he just keeps him there, literally. Takes care of him like a fucking, like a nursing home. What the fuck?
He's got a colostomy bag hooked up, so he doesn't have to fuck with that. He just changes the bag, you know.
I think he gives him a TV. He gets to let him watch his kills and shit.
Yeah, the TV footage is only of Billy the Puppet talking.
Someone there? I can hear you. Who is that? Who's in there?
When you're filming this, are you sitting on set going like, okay, this is kind of creepy, or are you sitting there just laughing and having a good time and thinking like,
Well,
this is awesome?
I want to correct, with the first Saw, not much blood was flowing at all. The Saw sequels were the ones that kind of retrospective went back and made everyone think that the Saw films are really violent and gory. The first Saw film played more like a psychological thriller, and it really was a film about two guys stuck in a room, really. And every now and then we would cut outside, and then, you know, like this mystery would unfold. It was more a mystery thriller that had these sort of like scary moments. I like to describe Saw as it was written as a thriller, but then shot like a horror film, shot like a scary movie.
Did you see it was on the DVD I watched. Did you see the 10-minute short that they made before they made this movie?
No, I didn't. I've always wanted to see it, and I actually looked. I had the Blu-ray, and it was a 3-pack with 1, 2, and 3 on it. Mm-hmm. And I used to have it on Blu-ray as a single, but then I came upon this deal, and it was too good to pass up, so I took it and I ended up selling my original Saw. But the one I have now, I don't think has it on it. So sadly, I haven't watched it.
To me, it's interesting for two things. It really all it is. It's the Amanda scene with her talking to a cop and then flashbacking and showing the mouth trap. And it's the exact same thing, except that Lee Winnell plays the Amanda role. And so it's only about 10 minutes. It's pretty much exactly the same thing. But there was two things that I took away from it. One, the Billy the Puppet is wearing like a teeny tiny hat upon his head, and it is the funniest fucking looking thing.
A hat?
Yeah. He's got
what kind of a hat? Like a baseball hat?
You know, like Heisenberg on Breaking Bad. He's got a little pork pie hat going on. It looks fucking it's comical, especially after seeing the puppet in the rest of the movies. But then the other thing is that the very end, they have the room where it all went down, and it zooms in on the wall, and you see a hole in the wall with somebody's eye looking through, and you're to presume that it's the killer, and he's been watching this whole time. And as soon as it shows that, it puts Saw on the screen. You know, like this is the title. It's called Saw.
Oh.
So that led me to believe that that's why this is called Saw, because
he saw it as an adjective.
Because literally, because he saw it. But then, here's my confusion. But then when they make the movie, the killer's name is Jigsaw. So I'm like, okay, well maybe that's it. You know, he cuts these little puzzle pieces out. His name's Jigsaw. Okay, I get it. Yep. But then, then the whole promotion of the movie of Saw is these limbs laying around, and you know, the idea of having to saw. You know, he doesn't want us to saw through the chains. He wants us to saw through our feet. That was like the major selling point of the movie. So then I'm like, okay, maybe that's why it's called Saw. What I want to know is, why is this movie called Saw?
That's what I think right there. Saw off the foot.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, let me ask you this. Speaking of that, don't you think it would have been better if they saved that line to the end when he actually did it? Don't you think it would have been more of as great as the last 15 minutes of that movie is, even that much better? If let's say they try to saw the fucking thing. What's his name? Adam's break. That's the end of it. Mm-hmm. Now after Gordon does it, and obviously, you know, that little fucking thing isn't going to get nothing. So let's just say he tosses it down and says, what the fuck, it's useless. And just lets it be. Don't you think it would have been had a greater impact if at the end, when shit's hitting the fan, he just turns around quick and grabs the saw and says, he wants us to saw off our feet. You know what I mean? And then fucking then saws the shit off.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, huh? Well, I think it'd be fucking 10 times better.
Because, okay, at the end, you know, he they find a cell phone. For some rule of movie magic, it can only get incoming calls, and he somehow knows that. I don't know why, but and so
maybe this says incoming call only on the screen. I don't know.
Yeah, this phone was made to receive calls. Yeah, okay. But okay, so he's communicating with his wife and shit like that. He ends up getting disconnected, and the phone is out of his reach. Okay, so this sends him into a frantic state, and so he kind of freaks out. Now, if he were to stop and have like a realization moment, I think the beauty of him sawing off his foot is that he just goes red. He sees red. He's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here. Whenever,
yeah, sure.
It's like, I'm doing this now. If he were to like have an aha moment, I know how to get out of here, he would have talked himself out of it, I think. You know what I mean? Where it's like he had that realization before, and he's like, well, I'm not fucking sawing my foot off. You're crazy. You'd have to be crazy to do that. And then later, he gets so crazy because he's fearful for his family's life and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it could work, but who knows? I mean, either way, it's a great line. It's fucking. It's a cool ass line, definitely.
It is. Oh, it's a great line. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. He wants to saw through our feet. Yeah, it's great. But no, you are right. I didn't think of it from that perspective, and it was probably in my subconscious as I watched the movie, which the whole way you just said it. But I just, that is cool. Because that is something that would happen. You wouldn't even think to fucking saw off your foot. You'd be like, come on, that's a last resort. I'm not sawing off my fucking foot. Come on, that's ridiculous. So, but then when the shit hits the fan, he really fucking flips out. And what's funny about it is he doesn't really flip out until after fucking time runs out. Oh, fucking Adam tells him, it's 6 o'clock, it's over. Then, now I'm going to shoot you. And it's too fucking late. Yeah. That's when he flips out. He's calm for fucking 8 hours, relatively. In comparison... to the situation that he's fucking facing. Then he just goes fucking apeshit when it expires, which is kind of funny, but I guess that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, but...
It's the human condition. He was trying to be fucking... to work it out and have them both get out. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. So, a little sympathy for him, maybe, because... I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I have no sympathy for adulterers who have no bedside manner. How dare you, doctor? You're too cold.
Well, later on, they do kind of fucking vilify him a little bit more in this series. So I guess I retain that. Mm-hmm. And then what they ultimately do is another story, which is something completely ludicrous, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Here's something I want to bring up. Okay, James Wan. He's an established director at this point. This was his first movie. I understand that, but his next feature film is going to be Fast and Furious. 7? Is that what they're on now? Something like that.
7. Yeah.
Okay, it's a series that started based on car chases and drag racing and stuff like that. Car scenes. Okay, and it's gotten away from that a little bit, but it's still within that franchise, I believe. I'm not super familiar.
I've never seen any of them, so you're talking to the wrong guy.
Okay, well, it's a movie.
But I know what it is. Yeah, I get the gist.
Movies about cars, right? That's what Fast and Furious implies. Okay. James Wan, he's going to direct Fast and Furious 7. This is his first movie. He put together the worst filmed car chase I've ever seen in my life. I know you say you like the frantic stuff at the end here, but when it's Zepp and Tap, and they're Zepp and Tap at it
Zepp
again.
And Tap, it's great. Yeah.
I know why they did it. It's poor man's process. They didn't have money to film this shit, but it just makes me fucking laugh every time. I just see them sitting in the car and the camera's just zooming in on them. I'm like, this is a car chase.
Maybe that's why I love this movie so much, and maybe that's why I don't like action flicks, because I can't keep up with the car chases. And this simplifies it for me. For whatever reason, the way my mind works, I get fucking confused in situations where it goes on too long, a car chase or a fucking big action sequence or something. I zone out of it. I mentally check out of it. It just, whatever it bores me or something, I just get after like 30 seconds of it, I'm done.
Yeah.
So that's just me though. That's just why I don't identify with action flicks. I wish I got off on it the way everybody else does, but for me, for whatever reason, I can watch a slow burn horror movie and not have a problem, but I can't watch a fucking too much action on the screen. Somehow it just my mind doesn't process it right, and I've never been into it. So I don't know. That's just me. A lightsaber battle, fine. The fights in the fucking Lord of the Rings series, shit like that, that's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. But just like action movies, like regular types and car chases and shit, it's just I don't know. I always check out of it. Now this this is ridiculous. They didn't even.
Okay,
well, they
good.
had to show.
I'm glad you agree.
Oh, of course, because it's just set pieces. It's like what they would have done on fucking Happy Days or something. Put a fucking screen behind them and fucking let the guys. I'm gonna go to fucking Universal Studios and Disney in a fucking week. When I get there, if I get out of this fucking bathroom, and when I get there, fucking, they're gonna have probably a ride there that my daughter can go on or I can go on, and they'll film it, and they have shit like that. It'll look like fucking this thing in Saw. It's fucking, that's the budget that they had on that fucking thing. And yeah, it's ridiculous, of course.
Oh, it just makes me laugh so much because you can tell it's like, okay, this is action-y. It's trying to be frantic. And it's like, oh, it's a parked car. I can tell, Couldn't they just show them leaving the house and then the next shot, which they have in the movie, just being them pulling up to the warehouse? And, we would have got it with that. We didn't need the intercutting of them, their faces as they're driving.
Yeah, I guess they just had to show that there was a chase going on there because we didn't know we don't actually see Zepp running out of the house, do we? When fucking
we see him walk out the
Tap
door.
Gets him. Okay, we see that, but you can't have the scene leave the front porch of fucking Dr. Gordon's house and then suddenly pick up in the warehouse. You have to show transportation. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
You had to show something, so
I just think it's hilarious how to me that's the worst filmed car chase, and this is the guy doing Fast and Furious 7, one of the biggest car franchises the biggest car franchise in existence.
Yeah,
I just think it's funny.
That is, I get you now, considering how far he's come. Looking at what he did in Saw, which was the absolute worst fucking generic thing you could possibly have, to now where it's going to be all about fucking elaborate car chases and scenes like that. Yeah, that's fucking funny. Wow. Hey, did you know James Wan fucking intentionally cast Amanda, what's her name? I'm all fucked up in the head.
Shawnee Smith.
Thank you, Shawnee Smith. Intentionally, it was his first choice right from the beginning, and he was all about fucking Shawnee Smith because he had a crush on her, fucking watching her movies for years.
I always did too. Huh.
I did too when she was young.
Yeah.
By the time this series is over, somehow it left me.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat with you.
Yeah, not the same, right? Okay, well that's cool. But yeah, it's interesting though. But I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, how old is James Wan? Do you know?
I don't know, but looking at the behind the scenes stuff on this, he looked very young. Like 22 kind of young. I don't know.
What? Oh, okay, so he's young. He's okay.
That's just how he looks to me. I have no idea really.
So he's younger than we are. Okay, that's fine. Maybe. Well, whatever. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just picturing him, and I was just making sure that he wasn't older. And that fucking, I was like, well, no. I was just trying to picture the ages between Shawnee Smith and James Wan, and how that would have come to be. At first, I thought he'd be too old for her, but you know what? She's actually pretty old. Mm-hmm. So if anything, he might be too young for her. He might be fucking she's the cougar. It's the other way around. I was thinking that fucking, he's robbing the cradle, but you know what? Yeah, she's the cougar now. Who would have thought we got into that one? Okay.
How about did you find it surprising watching this movie after having seen all the sequels and stuff about how there's certain elements that's just used once? Whereas the other sequels, they use it constantly, like the music at the end whenever it's being revealed. I mean, that's great music.
Yes, it is great.
I love the score. But, it's used at such a pivotal moment in the movie, whereas it's like other, it's the rule of the sequel. Well, that worked. Now let's do that 5 times in this movie, Or like...
Really?
I believe.
I thought they only do it at the end.
Maybe I'm wrong, and
I just think the end sequences got longer and longer. They became more elaborate.
Yeah,
so instead of a 30-second thing, it became like fucking this big theatrical, bombastic fucking thing that goes 2 minutes long now because there's so much shit going on at the end of the other movies. Because they really speed it up. Have you noticed at the very end scene, after all the shit takes place, they have in the other movies, they show things happening fast, like little snippets here and there. But
yeah, like, hey, remember this that happened 5 seconds ago?
Well, right, they do that, but the point is they do it for like maybe 5-second snippets. Where in Saw 1, in this one, it goes ridiculously fast, so fast you can't even see what's going on.
Yeah, it's just, but it still registers in your mind. It's like, oh
yeah, I guess so.
I remember that, and stuff like that. It's a testament to show how little you actually have to see for your mind to fill in the gaps and stuff like that.
Yeah, this movie, once you get to the shit, and once everything is unraveled in the last half hour and then on, then there isn't a whole lot. I mean, the ending is fucking tremendous, and that's you're not going to get a better twist in a better situation than that. But it's spelled out. Once it happens, it happens. Where in the sequels, it was they were flashing back to so many things and so many different things, and it took time, and it was more. It was presented in a different way. Ba, 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 ba. It was fucking crazy, They get all fucking crazy. They start throwing in fucking violins and shit, But,
banana laser, banana laser. Wow.
You got a theme song now.
Booyah!
Yes, between that and banana bites. Got a fucking thing going, man. One more thing I wanted to point out. Jigsaw, when he is in the hospital, I don't know if you saw this, but when he's in the hospital bed and they show him,
he's got a boner. Damn it! Thought I called it. I think I saw a boner. He's
pitching a fucking tent. Yeah. He's getting off on the fucking Asian girl that Dr. Gordon's fucking.
Hell yeah!
Right?
Peel that
by
banana.
the way, yeah, I'd peel that banana. You're right about that. That might be the one. Actually, I don't know. We'll get to that. What the fuck? Now I lost my shit. Jigsaw's boner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, first of all,
he's got a boner. He's like, okay.
And that Asian girl.
Hey, he's about to fuck this broad. All right. He's on top of her.
Holy fuck! Yeah, that Asian girl. About her, I didn't realize till this time that was the one he was having an affair with until this time.
What?
All the times I've seen Saw, I just thought it was some random Asian girl. I never made the connection that it was his intern.
Are you serious?
That's the last time I watched.
Whenever Dr. Gordon makes some fucking lame joke, she laughs the hardest, because she's like, oh, you're so hot or whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
I never picked. Isn't that something?
They all look alike to you, Dave. That's for shame, sir. For shame. God.
Well, she's hot, whoever she is.
You know why? You know why he couldn't continue to have sex with her? It's because 30 minutes later he wanted to fuck her again.
Oh! Fucking what's that thing called? I can't fucking do it. Sorry. The fucking thing.
Okay, so
the point I was trying to get to about Jigsaw's boner. Jigsaw was laying in bed, and Zepp comes in there. And it's that scene when it's the only scene when that happens when Dr. Gordon's there and the interns and Zepp. And his name is John. He's an interesting man. Do you know that if you look at how in the hospital they have that fucking thing where it's like a little desk that's on top of a guy or
sure, yeah,
tray where they eat. Okay, that thing is there, and there is a diagram on that fucking thing. And it's for the reverse bear trap that was used on Amanda.
What? Really?
It was all given away right then and there if you paid attention. Yeah.
So he just has all this fucking shit that can incriminate him just laying out all the time.
Yeah, right? And they all come in there. Doctors, interns, orderlies. Fucking...
Hey, I'm here for an overnight sesh, but I got a lot of work to do where I'm putting people in traps that might kill them. So I'm just going to have some papers and stuff kind of strewn about. Just don't mind them, okay? It's kind of my private work.
They probably just figure he's fucking all on morphine. He's on his way out. He's, a little loopy from the drugs.
God, I never noticed that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, he would have had the presence of mind to look at that, they could have figured the shit out. Because right shortly after that is when they showed the reverse bear trap situation. Or it might have even been right before, for all I know. Because the movie does... That's something else that's wonderful. This fucking movie's great. This is the first movie where you see all things flashing back and forth, which we see later on in later installments and in other horror movies and other types of movies now. But this movie, there wasn't another movie like it up until the time where it was a whole bunch of fucking back and forth shit and you had to figure it out. And, you know, it had elements that like Seven brought to the table, I guess. But,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's the closest thing. But Seven wasn't as deep and, you know, it was different. It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
know?
But there's a lot of similarities between him and what's his name? The killer from that
Kevin
movie.
Spacey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
his name was in it.
A
Yeah.
lot of similarities there, and just the I don't want to say style, but like the feel of both the movies, you know, kind of feel the same. Yeah.
The difference is Seven was more about the detectives. It wasn't. It was about fucking Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. This one was barely about fucking Sing and Tep. Or Tap.
I could use a lot less of them, honestly. I felt like the best part was just them, and I mean that's what drew me in, and that's what drew me in with like the movie Devil. You know, it's like it's just 5 people in an elevator. That's the whole movie. I'm like, I like that. You know, when it because it's like, well, what kind of story can you tell that's so limited to just people in one room? And I just find that fascinating. You know. So.
I do too, because you have to have strong writing, and you have to be able to keep us going through it. It has to be interesting, and if it succeeds, it makes that makes it an even better movie because the location. It's not easy to do. You're gonna write a movie where fucking based on a lot of dialogue. That's no easy task, and having a real good plot like they do in this movie. Yeah, did you know? Speaking of devil and elevators, this movie was supposed to be in an elevator. It was not supposed to be a bathroom. The original script was an elevator.
I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, it's fucked up, isn't it?
Then we would have had less shit jokes.
What could they have joked about? You're right. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Fucking buttons, numbers, fucking lights. What could they have done? Look behind number 13.
Number 13?
There it is.
Number 13? Number 9? Hey, let me ask you this. Okay. The movie opens. It's Adam in the tub, and you see something floating around that we find out what it is later, and it goes down the drain. Well, it turns out to be the key to his fucking lock, and that's like the one thing that Jigsaw says after he gets up is like the key to that lock is in that tub. Game over. Whatever. It's like. What? Why did he even do that? You know, did he think? Okay, one, he never wanted him to get away, to get out. So why would he even have a key there? You know, and what kind of test is that? I guess that just left me bothered. You know, it's like there was no chance. That's kind of like the Hoffman traps later. It's like
you're right.
There's no chance for him to have gotten out or anything like that. So why even do it?
I hear you. You're right. That is one thing about this movie. They do things like that, and he doesn't care. He just wants to be a dick in that situation. He's like, oh, by the way, you had a real fucking easy shot to get out of here if you didn't panic so much when you first woke up.
When you woke up underwater, try not to panic, you know.
Like that's possible.
Yeah, right? First, get a sense of your surroundings first, and then think, hey, is there a key floating around here? Because I might be chained to the fucking wall. I don't know. Oh, yeah, see, that's just one element that just really just burns my fucking buttons. But
it is fucked up. He was a prick. You're right. He was a bitter fucking prick. He really was. Later on, he doesn't become that, though. But this movie itself, it's a different character. You get hints of it about what he becomes, and he mentions, the sickness inside of me. He does have a couple good lines that are a little bit, preachy. And then they even mention that in the paper. It says that he's something with a message, and killer preaches to something. And then, he says that he goes, I'm sick of sick. What does he say when they have him in there? And he has a good line. He's like, I'm sick from this disease that's inside of me. I'm sick of people that are unappreciative of their blessings and that scoff at the suffering of others. He says something like that. And that I understand. That makes sense. And that's what it becomes later. This movie, he's just saying it as a matter of fact, but his punishments aren't really fitting fucking, you know. It doesn't... Yeah.
He's just pissed off because a junkie fucking smashed his baby with a door or something.
At this point, yeah, he's just bitter. He's just bitter and fucking twisted and fucking with them.
Hey,
yeah.
So
he changed the character later though for the better, I must say.
Oh, I think definitely so. Here's another question I have: Why was Jigsaw in the room? And
to zap him.
He could have with all the cameras set up and shit like that. He couldn't have done that from somewhere else.
Let me think about this. Was there another reason he was in there?
I don't think so.
Well, what else could they do? No, yeah, I'll tell you why. Because it was part of the plan. He wanted to supervise, number one. Number two, he wanted to shock him. Number three, there's the thing about the blood and the cigarette. And the story of the cassette being in his hand. It was part of the script. He wrote a script, and that's how he wanted it.
He's a theatrical motherfucker.
Yes, he is theatrical. Why not? He's all full of morphine. He's all fucked up in the head, and you know. And at the end, he wears pig masks. He fucking constructs fucking dolls that ride tricycles and shit. He's all fucked up. He's eccentric, you know. And he wants to say "fuck you" at the end of the movie, like he does. You know, stands up, game over. Fuck, he wants that. Amazing. What a fucking and then he closes the door. And you hear the way you hear fucking what's his name still screaming in there. Yeah, that's fucking almost scary. It's fucking haunting. And then the credits come on. Oh man, that's fucking orgasmic. I tell you, it really is. It's fucking it's movie orgasm right there.
Well, here, Dave, smoke this cigarette. Ignore the blood on the end.
Right.
And
yeah, that fucking the cancer stick, the fucking cyanide blood. Yeah, I love it, man. That's all I can say. I can't say enough. I'm fucking ranting and raving about it. But even with the little plot holes, I can overlook them because everything else is just so fucking strong. You know?
5-star movie.
Wow. 5-star movie, yeah. I'm curious now. I'm curious as to what's going to happen in this series with us. Because I can't believe, wow.
Well, yeah, it definitely gets better to me. But...
Wow.
We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Let's get to it then, Dave. What do you rate this movie 1 out of 5?
1 out of 5? Nothing's changing for me. As much as I would like to say, all this discussion we've had, the small plot holes in the character of Jigsaw, they could have been better. But this fucking, like I said earlier, it grips me from the fucking opening frame to the final. I love the movie and the ending when he stands up. And that twist is just fucking amazing. And yeah, I do hold on to it tight, and I fucking love it. But I can't change. This is a 5-star movie for me.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's fucking incredible. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's. I wish I shared your sentiment. I mean. I really like this movie. I've watched it, I think I said 6 times for this show, and not for this show. This was my 6th viewing, and I really like it. I have fun with it. It's a fun movie, but the I'd have to say with it's cheap. I don't want to say it's cheaply made, but it's a low budget movie, and because of that, they were not thinking about everything on a grand scale, and so there's all these plot holes and stuff like that you could just pick at and peek through, and parts that if they just had more time and more money could have been improved. And so for that, it knocks it down for me. But that being said, even watching it this time, I have fun watching it. I love the twist. I really enjoy the character of Jigsaw and just what he does. Nobody has ever done this kind of villainry before that I know of.
Yeah.
Take somebody, put them in a trap, and make them try to come out a different person. Kind of like, I can't think of it now. Fight Club. There's a part in Fight Club where it's like they have that car wreck, And Tyler Durden's like, we just had a near-life experience, It's kind of like that, So for that, it's definitely your atypical horror movie, There's been nothing like that, And there's been lots of copycats since, but they tend to focus on more of just torturing people and putting them in the traps and stuff like that. So
yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely an enjoyable movie, and I'll probably watch it again someday. But I can't give it a 5 just because I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement and stuff like that. So I'll give it a 3. I'll say I like this movie.
Wow, a 3?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I can't dispute its impact on the genre. I think it's incredible.
Huge, yeah.
And it's just. I just love the movie. That's all I can say. But hey, I can live with a 3 with you. What are you gonna do? But I will say it does have its flaws, sure. But Fight Club is another movie. Fight Club is a 5-star movie to me too. If you're talking that, I mean that's an amazing fucking movie, beginning to end. Same thing.
I would say that's obsessed. A 5-star movie for me.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It is. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. So, but at least you could say that. But I don't know. This movie. There wasn't, like I said, there was only one thing comparable to it, and it was 7 prior to it. But this movie took that idea and, improved on it and did better things. And like I said, the way it ends, that alone is worth that alone should be making a 4-star movie. Fuck, I think it's the greatest fucking twist, the greatest fucking finish to a movie. My fucking jaw dropped the first time I saw it. I was fucking blown away. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of movie I love to show to someone that's never seen it before, just to see their reaction, So it's like the ending of, the original Friday the 13th with Jason jumping out of the water or something, but different. So yes, this is a 5-star movie for me, and like I said, the end is so amazing that alone gives it 4 stars. It's fucking, I can't say enough about it. That the ending is just tremendous, and if I like the rest of the movie at all, which I really do, of course it's going to be 5 stars. So, based upon that, you have to recognize the ending. Are you sure you don't want to give it 4 stars?
I mean, I love the ending, but no, I'm still going 3 stars. Everything else brings it down.
Well, keep in mind, we're really trying to put on a real good retrospective show here. Remember, we want to put on a good show, and it's. Maybe comparable to, the famed Halloween retrospective. So we want some people to be happier. So some people,
Some people, like the guy who's keeping us captive. Come on, motherfucker. I want to get the fuck out of here. Fuck this. Who is this guy anyways?
5 stars.
No,
I really mean it. I'm not even saying it to appease it. It is 5 stars.
I'm not giving it 5 stars just because this asshole wants me to rate all these movies 5 stars. Fuck him. You can leave me here forever. I don't care. Who would do this to somebody anyways? What kind of piece of shit would fucking put some in my mind A-list podcasters down here to die? Fuck.
Someone that fucking I don't know. Maybe they got a vendetta against us. I don't know.
Fuck, I don't know.
What do we ever do?
Jesus Christ.
We don't have any enemies in the podcast world, do we? Shit, I hope not.
I don't think so.
Well,
I guess we do. Shit.
Apparently, yes. Well, so now I guess we have to watch fucking
Part 2.
Saw 2.
Yeah. Saw 2. Fuck. I mean, is this asshole going to wheel in a fucking TV, or is Billy the Puppet going to wheel in a TV down here so we can watch this shit? Because I got to watch it.
Yeah, this fucking... Maybe we get fed, too. We can't do a good show unless we eat and have a little drink. At least treat us as good as that guy got treated by Jigsaw that he was holding captive. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Something. Give us a colostomy bag, shit.
Give us a second chance at least, because Saw 2... no, wait.
Hang on. All right, so I guess we gotta, stick around for the next installment, fuckers. I guess we're gonna be here for a while.
Yeah, all right.
Until then, game over.
you are still alive. Most people are so ungrateful to be alive.